So it is going for, well, it's 5 after 7 a.m. 5 minutes after 7 a.m. I thought it was going towards 8. On November 24th, 2021, my teeth practically glow in the dark. They do make toothpaste like that, I believe, but I don't buy that variety. May have a similar ingredient. I don't know. So I have more B6 booster drink here. And today it's just clementines. But this helps, the brown rice milk powder. Ever since I began including that, it helps balance out. It's kind of like EQ or equalization tables with audio engineering. Like a mixer, mastering and mixing. I'll post the screenshot of what I'm talking about, and maybe a video clip. For the B vitamins, it balances it out a bit more. And the proteins. Possibly minerals as well. Yeah, probably minerals as well. Okay, so sure, yeah, that's a good amount. Yeah, that's the right amount. About 3 level tablespoons. Last night I added the water first, which was a mistake. Usually I do this first to remove the clumpiness. It's good. Love the way they smell in the morning when after juicing them, or while I'm in the process of juicing them. I like it. It's a different context. Okay, here we go. Nice. Oh, great. I have to get water. Let's get up and get the water. Oh, great. Oh, be quiet. I'm just talking to my cat. He's on her bed, probably. Jeez, shut up. Oh, yeah, that's just what we need if we had lived in an apartment, right? Okay. Where the neighbors would be like, "What's going on over there? What is she talking about?" At like 7 in the morning. Who cares? Who gives a shit? What, is everyone going to be hooked up to a polygraph test? A lot of the things I've heard are probably referenced from when I was a minor. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure. But it would trigger people from thinking about the things when they were probably minors. It's a problem, right? It's something you discuss between one and another, like between yourself and the person whose business is that, like it's their business between the two people within a private zone. If they grew up together, you don't, if you heard something or whatever, you don't blast it over the television networks or anything like that. Eastern Standard Time, even through a VPN, because it could be it could cause a fight, you know, or something. You don't want to do that. It's not. I'm just a witness of something that's potential. The thing that they have to do is regular expressions and trace routes and net stats and things like that. Yes. And checking the NVRAM of the routers between those devices on their network. And the sources of those who punched in at work. But they may have not even been at the people at work, you know, who are currently working there, who did the screenwriting. You'd have to see if they have like a version control system, like a SVN, like Git or something like that, subversion control systems, where they'd see where there'd be edits happening along the way, like on Wikipedia, where sometimes the article gets changed, and then if you can go back to, let's say, a certain date, you can retrieve the cached, what was there before it was edited. But with routers, it's a little different. Somewhere along the way, it probably would have been, could have been stored in, let's say, a caching type system, like a Squid or something like that. And then they would have to ask the people who work there with the polygraph test of whether or not, if they were the ones who wrote those screenwritings, for instance. And then, like, if they honestly were not the ones who did that, then someone was okay. Here, if, let's say, the HTTP logs of, let's say, or even the screenwriting punch card in and out or whatever, if there's different things that are showing up that those who were questioned with the polygraph test who work at that, like, television network, within those departments don't usually do, like, activity that they don't usually do on the internet or whatever, and there's other things that show up and they're not lying about that, then it's okay with them. But then they have to find out who's the outside source, who's hacking into their, you know, television network routers and things like that. They have to catch them in the act or something. They'll be able, I'm pretty sure that there's some type of, like, somewhere along the way that they would be able to detect that. Squid is a HTTP type caching system. Usually it's used to, so that with Webmin, Webmin is like a administrator's type of software package that allows one to control, like, the internet traffic within their networks and stuff like that from the gateway of their modem and anywhere within their network, and also allows one to detect what comes in from outside. So with Squid, for instance, is like kind of like a software package that works alongside with Webmin and allows one to be able to do that differentiation, where it's like, because if someone's able to connect to, let's say, a router, you know, using, and they were able to detect the usual web browsers that are connecting within that local area network, and from the outside, let's say they're able to capture it with Wireshark, and then they would find the browser version that usually connects to that router, that local area network. they're able to craft, it's called crafting, a data packet so that with a, let's say, different tools like PCAP and Nmap, I believe, and where they would be able to, or an operating system also called Kali Linux, where they're able to replicate that browser version and make it, or what is known as spoofing, or hide behind their system to make their system look like it's using the same browser version to allow it to bypass that firewall check within the router. You see what I'm saying? Where the routers are sometimes configured with a higher security that by default usually isn't the case, where it would detect the browser version that's connecting to it. But let's say they're able to replicate the media access control hardware address of a computer system that connects to that local area networks router, along with the browser versions, able to access as if it was one of those computers that usually connect to the network. And then it could just be so camouflaged, other than for, let's say, other data that's passing through that router at certain times during the 24-hour daytime period, or nighttime. So then they're able to do a process of elimination of, let's say, determining, over varies how far away maybe the person is parked, like a mile away, or it could have been like, let's say 50 feet away or so. They could have been outside the building doing that. Or they could have been doing it from, let's say, there are long range antennas that exist that, where people are able to, I've never, see, I've done an experiment where I was able to, do the Wireshark, seeing how far away, let's say, would be able to connect if I had done all of those things, but I never went that far into changing anything like that. When I was in high school, something like that. I've connected to a friend's router years ago, but I was just doing like regular, I was looking at music, editing and things like that. I think I told him about it. I was like a senior in high school at the time. Anyways, but see, the issue is there are people who can buy like pounds of drugs using, connecting to someone's network and be traced to them, and that they would be considered a suspect.